This popcorn-style review contains scenes from another video. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, specifically, is, yes, actually the original Yu-Gi-Oh! For whatever reason, I've been on a weird Yu-Gi-Oh! Kick, and I just decided to watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! It wasn't good, and I don't think that would surprise anyone. I remember really liking it as a kid, but I was also a kid. I'm gonna split it up into three main arcs. The first one is Duelist Kingdom. Duelist Kingdom I actually thought was the best arc. It was a little irritating in that they didn't even kind of follow the rules of the card game, which hadn't really been established yet, but at least like every episode or so you could be like, what the fuck was that? And you could just like freak out over how crazy it gets. Then Battle City, which I remember being the best arc as a kid, is absolutely not the best arc. It has a very formulaic pattern where, like, Yugi and Joey run into a guy who then cheats, and then they run into a different guy who then cheats, and then it alternates. And occasionally Merrick will show up, and Merrick is the worst villain ever. He loses every duel, or he should lose every duel, and I realized, like, watching it as it started getting... And then there's the issue of card publishing rights, which I find incredibly distracting, because Kaiba invents the expert level rules for this tournament. He created them specifically for the tournament, which involves tribute summoning, which didn't exist in Battle City, which means it wasn't part of the original Duel Monsters rules in universe. So Kaiba creates these expert level rules, but there are cards for tribute summoning specifically, and rules about tribute summoning in the actual cards in the game. So it's like, why do these cards exist if Kaiba created the rules? It makes no fucking sense. And I realized I find Yugi to be the most boring duelist ever. Just any duel Yugi's in, I find it incredibly uninteresting. Joey's still the best character. Merrick is fucking just the worst villain ever. But he's actually so bad that he becomes entertaining, you know? He's so bad he's good in that. He's a fucking cartoon villain. Like, undoubtedly. Kaiba is he's just an asshole. Like, I used to think he was kind of cool as a kid. He's not. He's just a dumb fucking edgelord. Battle City, and like, the finals of Battle City is the worst, because in the end, Final City, the person that should have won the duel always loses in every battle. I think the only one that felt like justifiable was like Yugi and Merrick and Yugi and Kaiba, but no other previous battle, and that should have happened. Like, Joey never should have gotten past, what's his name? Not Oberon, Odeon. Mai should have beaten Merrick. Joey should have beaten Merrick. Shizu should have beaten Kaiba. It was fucking retarded. It was every match the wrong person won. And then Joey fought Kaiba, and that battle can basically just be thrown out outright, because what I realized while watching it within the first 3 turns is that the first 5 cards Kaiba drew were his best cards in his entire deck. Like, he started with the best hand possible in his whole deck. It was stupid nonsense. And then he just drew in to a Blue Eyes and a Lord of D and a Flute of Summoning. It was fucking absurd what his first 12 cards were invincible. Like, it would have taken Pharaoh Yugi level bullshit of, I can use my willpower to change the card I draw, to fucking beat that nonsense. Which, by the way, if you don't know this, the Pharaoh can actually choose what cards he draws. It's not the heart of the cards. They explain this in the final duel. He can just decide with his willpower what card he is going to draw. They say this. This is a thing he can do. He is capable of influencing his draw. So be aware of that. Yeah, then there was Millennium World, which there was Zork, and he's like the incarnation of the Shadow Realm. It was stupid, and I didn't give a fuck, and I barely remember anything about it. It was so boring and uninteresting, and fucking Bakura is he's a nothing character. He is just he is a flat-ass pancake that flavored like water. But the final duel of this anime, Yugi versus Pharaoh. Holy shit. Those last 4 or 5 episodes were the best episodes of the show. There was, other than the Pharaoh apparently being able to just decide what card he draws every fucking turn. There was, like, no bullshit involved in that. It was just, like, a pure duel between two characters. I fucking loved it. It was altogether a fairly decent ride. Definitely not a show that if you grew up on, you should revisit, though. It is a mess, and there are numerous problems, but Joey is the best. Twitch and Discord in the description. I've been Sacrobolic. Your Envoy of Hope. Bye-bye.